International Monetary Fund or IMF Chief Christine Lagarde has lauded Laos' economic achievements while cautioning that more work is needed to consolidate stability as the nation transitions from low-income in-country status. IMF Managing Director Christine Lagarde paid her first visit to Laos recently, aiming to enhance cooperation between the IMF and Laos in relation to macroeconomic management.
Thank you very much for taking the time for an interview here. First of all, share with us about your visit here in the Laos PDR.
Madame Christine Lagarde is believed to be the first IMF chief to visit Laos since the country joined the International Monetary Fund in 1961. She arrived in Vientiane and met top-level leaders to discuss cooperation between the IMF and Laos.
This is my first visit to Laos, and I came with great expectations because the reputation of Laos is that of a very nice country with very kind and very hospitable people. And my expectations have been exceeded. I've had very good meetings with the authorities. I had the privilege of meeting with your president, with your vice prime minister, of course with the governor of the central bank and the deputy governor. And all those meetings have been very productive and very nice. I was also very impressed by the cohesive and coordinated messages that I received in terms of prospect for growth, in terms of ambition for the country, in terms of fiscal framework, and I was very pleased to offer a stronger and deeper partnership between the IMF and Laos.
Given an exclusive interview to Lao National Television English language news team at the conclusion of her visit to Laos, Madame Lagarde said saying the IMF complimented government officials on their important economic achievements, including robust growth based on substantial public investment and deeper economic integration with neighboring countries. She said this economic expansion has brought a solid decline in poverty and important improvements in social welfare. I also pointed to recent achievements in bringing down the fiscal deficit in the last 3 years, which has helped safeguard macroeconomic stability and set the stage for sustainable growth going forward.
You know, our forecast for Laos PDR growth is a little bit more than 7%, and we believe that it is a sustainable growth rate going forward, barring, of course, massive shock coming from the outside. We see that poverty has been reduced over the last 10 years, and we think that this is largely due to the growth rate, but also to the fiscal policies and the investments that have been made over the course of those last 10 years. We would recommend that the fiscal policy be continued and possibly be improved with a better revenue base and with even more efficient public spending going forward.
According to her, the economic prospects for Laos remain favorable. However, to safeguard macroeconomic stability during the transition out of low-income country status in the medium term, it would be important to strengthen the economy's resilience to external shocks and put in place conditions for sustainable growth.
We also believe that the government is right to focus its investment policies on not only infrastructure, which it does and which is needed, but also on education and health, which are very necessary, particularly for the rural communities of the country.
These steps include continued investments in education and social infrastructure to ensure rising living standards, implementation of fiscal reforms so that a more efficient public administration can support public investment while maintaining the path of fiscal consolidation, continue efforts to accumulate international reserve, and develop the financial system and better quality and timely release of statistics.
I would like to see our teams cooperate very strongly amongst themselves, but also with other international institutions, including from this area, by the way, in order to really focus on the solutions that can be proposed and the advice that can be given to countries. That's the paramount goal, if you will. To support that goal, I believe that we can focus more on prevention than on therapy.
The IMF chief, Madame Christine Lagarde, also emphasized the determination of the IMF to continue to be a close partner for Laos in its drive for development to graduate from low-income country status by 2020. She said, in recent years, we have sought to deepen our policy dialogue and capacity building by re-establishing our local office in Vientiane and providing IMF technical support focused on strengthening macroeconomic management and ensuring conditions for sustained growth. According to the Bank of the Lao PDR, cooperation between Laos and the IMF has been growing over the past years.
Its near global membership uniquely positions the IMF to help governments to manage the challenges posed by globalization and economic development.
Despite global uncertainty, the Lao economy has continued to grow at 7.5% annually, making it one of the world's fastest-growing economies. However, the IMF chief warned that the sluggish global economy could impact Laos. For instance, the rebalancing of the Chinese economy might create more turbulence.